Flush, Kansas was settled by immigrants from Germany and is written to be the oldest community in Pottawatomie County. The early settlers transformed this community into a civilization, and in 1841 an improved piece of land could be purchased for $1.25 per acre. After they were settled, they sent letters to their families in Germany to inform them that they were safe and that their adventure was successful. In the spring of 1855, crops were planted and their lives were beginning to change. However, due to Kansas wind and thunderstorms, among other conditions, it is without a doubt that their hope and faith in God was tested many times. However, their endurance prevailed. Their Catholic faith was an extremely essential aspect of their lives, but there were no religious institutions within miles, so they decided to speak to the nearest Jesuit fathers in St. Mary's, Kansas. They were told that the priests were only to care for the Indians, who were the original settlers of this land. Therefore, if the settlers wanted to attend Mass, they had to walk all the way to St. Mary's. This was not an easy task, but they were devout Catholics, and they were determined. Again their perseverance prevailed, and with continued pressure, a priest was finally sent out to their land. The first actual Mass was performed on October 2nd, 1855. As their community began to grow, a priest was then allowed to come and say Mass once a week, which was a huge victory for the immigrants from Germany. It was not long before there was talk of building a church to call their own. Father de Mortier became the leader in this project. A place safe from flooding was found, and Michael Flourish and his wife donated 4 acres. According to the deed, the land was to be used specifically for church and educational purposes. In the spring of 1865, with the help of the entire community and about $2,000, they began building a church. Finally, about 1 to 2 years later, a place of worship was dedicated. However, Father de Mortier died shortly after the completion of the church. With the parish in full swing and with the church built, a resident priest was essential. However, the bishop said that once a parish house was built, a resident priest would then be sent. After some complications, the stone house for a resident priest was finally completed in 1875, and Father Ignatius Lager was sent to become the resident priest. He was the first to begin to document the activity of the church. It was said that in a short 4 years there were nearly 100 baptisms. Over the next 30 years, the community endured several feuds concerning the church for various reasons. After going through several priests, Father Hunt entered the scene in 1896. The parish had grown to around 100 families, and in 1898 a fund drive was once again started to build another church to handle the population explosion. The actual cost was reported to be nearly $30,000. For 2 years, parishioners did most of the physical work with the help of construction crews. Finally, on June 13, 1901, a dedication was performed. Due to the magnitude of this church, it has been labeled a Pearl of the Prairies. Since the start of this solid Catholic community, several males and females have dedicated their lives to the service of God as priests or nuns. Father Seltine came to Flush in 1921, and he was the first American-born priest in Flush. When he arrived in Flush, 20 years had passed without any improvements being made to the church. However, they were greatly needed. As they entered into the Depression days, farmers were the first to feel the impact. Father Kalinowski was the one with the ingenious idea to create some revenue to supplement the regular parish income, which is now known as the famous annual Flush Picnic. St. Joseph's Parish continues to live on today in Flush, Kansas. They have confessions every week on Saturday at 7:30 p.m., and they have weekly Mass Sundays at 8:45 a.m.